Exactly. Hollywood.
All right, guys, ready? Ready?
All right, everybody. What are we doing here? This is Blue episode 22 with 1 square mile.
You will collide. Total destruction you see from the sky. Asking questions and no one knows why. You look to the heavens and see the angels cry. Not so fast. Nothing lasts. We would never see tomorrow if we don't start to live today. You would never touch the heavens and everything will fade. Broken hearts, I can't breathe. Open your eyes, we shake, we say. Broken, bloodstains, the walls holding and we keep doing this over and over again. Oh wait, there's nothing left to hide. I can see it in your eyes. I know your love is blind. Why you have to lie? Is everything we say getting in the way? Let's take another day. Time to say goodbye. There's nothing left to hide. I can see it in your eyes. I know your love is blind. Why you have to lie? Is everything we say getting in the way? Let's take another day. What does it feel like when you was alive? Total destruction you see from the sky. Asking questions and no one knows why. You look through the heavens and see the angels cry. Nights on fire. Nothing lasts. We will never see tomorrow if we don't start to live today. You will never touch the heavens and everything will fade. Broken hearts, I can't breathe. Open your eyes, we shake, we say. Broken, bloodstains, the walls holding and we keep doing this over and over again. Over again. Over again.
It's me.
And us.
And us. We're part of it.
Started with Rob Holtzman and Mark, the doll. Just writing some songs. Wrote them in Abalone Lounge. And just picked up some momentum.
So was it like, what made you guys get together? Did you just like hang out at a party one time and talk about it?
We were off at Alex's bar, and we wanted to like start a band. They knew I was in bands, and they're like, "Oh, you want to jam?" And we just started it. Then we went to Punk Rock Bowling, and I said, "You know, you're gonna have to fucking practice harder than you've ever practiced before, because those guys hadn't practiced shit like that, the style I play." And we just sat there and just went through it, like writing parts that we never used, and it was pretty cool. Turned it around.
Yeah.
Getting in the way. Let's take another day.
Hermosa Beach, California.
But yeah, I've been in the South Bay most of my life. Had a few stops away, but mostly South Bay. And V,
I live in San Pedro.
represent.
I lived in Pedro.
Pedro. Where?
On Biner.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
But before that, I lived in Long Beach. South Bay.
And Terry, let's hear from you.
That's a 3-part question.
I know, right?
I was born in Oklahoma on a farm as a kid. Lived in South America until I was 20. Moved here March of 06. So I'm from the South Bay the past 17 years. And here we are.
Damn.
I've been around the block.
It's a new song. you are on demand. The system is fair, this is not a test. Believers, deceivers, they're fighting for your ignorance. It's plain to see the ending of democracy. Welcome to the end. You lies, embrace hypocrisy. It's just a movement, carving up history. Vultures, ready for the feast. Gathering at the swamp, no more they'll see the ending of democracy. Believers, deceivers, they're fighting for your ignorance. It's plain to see the ending of democracy. Welcome to the end. Believers, deceivers, they're fighting for your ignorance. Believers, deceivers, they're fighting for your ignorance. Believe, deceive, believe, deceive, believe, deceive. Welcome to your demise.
It's the radius of
The area.
the area of Hermosa Beach. It's not even one.
Is it-
I know, right?
is it-
Around.
is it-
No,
You know.
I read it. I know what it is.
Yeah. It's square mile. What the actual?
It's 1.4.
Yeah.
Oh, did you know it? Who said that? Yeah, 1.4. So yeah, bam.
It's not even the only 1 square mile band though. There's like a
Oh, yeah?
country western one,
Oh, is there?
and like where is it? It's like I think it's Minnesota or something. But like, you know, they're wearing the full suits, and there's like 6 of them, 6 dudes, and it's like, yeah, pull up 1 square mile, and that thing pops right up.
Listos.
Riot in the streets we're living, burning down the bridges we're giving. Divided nation can't stand tall. Watch it fall, watch it fall. Killing each other like it's transition. Killing ourselves the only mission. Who's the enemy we fight tonight? Let's get it right, let's get it right. The system's starting to break. 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 Build a wall, divide a nation. Keep on adding the world's frustration. Divide us all and separate. Make us hate. Tear these walls down every day. Making a difference, we're here to stay. Turn the page to a better day. It's the only way, it's the only way. The system's starting to break. 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 Watch the blood spill all through these haunted broken streets. Watch the machine destroy the wake. Some take back what we have lost. Death before dishonor. You know it's what they call the system. You know the system. The system. Whoa. The system's trying to break. The system's trying to break. The system's trying to break. The system's trying to break.
Yeah, I started out playing metal songs, Slayer, Judas Priest, and then Slayer and Metallica and stuff. And then just one of my friends just came up and they just poached me and got me to play in their band. They're a punk band, and I never really looked back. I was in punk bands ever since after. It was just so much fun. It seemed easier than being in a metal band, right? Because the metal bands I was into was like, you know, Slayer and all that shit. So it's like, you know.
Kind of technical.
Drop some names, drop some years.
I was in the Nip Drivers, Don't Know. The band that got me in punk was Don't Know. So we toured, we played with Vandals, played with Adolescents, you know, so much fun. I was like 19, I'd have like, you know, $50, you know, and be gone all weekend, never stay with those dudes. I'd, you know, roam around whatever town, you know, and it was,
Doing church. Teens.
yeah, and it was fun. It was a lot of fun. And after that, I was in Generator with some guys and Nip Drivers for a little stint. Mike Weber was a lot to handle. We played at, we drove all night to get to Frisco to go play at
Gilman Street?
Gilman Street, yeah. And so we go all night. Mike takes he's like, please, I gotta go get some Band-Aids for my arm. And all of our gear's in my truck. I had a Ford Ranger, and he's like, just let me please. No, fuck off, Mike. You're not gonna use my fucking truck. And he just wouldn't stop an hour. And I go, okay, hurry back. Motherfucker doesn't show up till right at the gig with all the gear, like, and I quit that night. Like, that was it for me.
Enough.
That was enough. Because we had some crazy shows that we played the Anti-Club, and he pulled his pants down and kissed one of the biggest dudes in Circle One on the lips and started a full riot in the fucking Anti-Club. Screaming, I'm a girl. Tucked his dick. She was like, I'm a girl. Great show.
Wow.
It was full Nip Drivers. If you know the Nip Drivers, that was a fun show. It was crazy.
It's not fun for one guy.
It's a vision. Not fun for one.
Yeah.
What was your favorite act?
The what? My favorite band?
This has been your favorite band prior to
I think Zero Down, because I got exposed to a lot of stuff. I got to tour across Canada, play with some really big bands, and had a lot of fun. And I got better. I learned how to play better, so it's good. It's a lot of fun. Work Called Peace was great too, you know. But it was like at that point, you know, we weren't going anywhere. We kind of branched apart. You know, it was like Robbie went to Cottonmouth Kings, I went Zero Down on Fat Records, and you know, great.
This is a new song too. Never heard before in front of an audience. Aren't you guys lucky? Lucky bitches tonight. You're welcome. You're welcome. Mentally, what's that spell? What? wrote that song. I wrote that song.
Let's start over and jump my fans, 'cause I need a do-over, 'cause I'm a mess. You're dead in the sun, lying in the shade. Step over bodies, begging for change. You're making me wonder, you're making me think. No one's getting up easy. I see you on the brink. You're dead in the sun, lying in the shade. Step over bodies, begging for change. Lay down, enjoy the sound of my skin wrapping around. I recognize your behavior, swiftness in your step. It feels so good, so close to death. I've got the prize waiting at your door. Bring me your offering and lay it on the floor. You're dead in the sun, lying in the shade. Step over bodies, begging for change. Let's get it started. No time to waste. You wanna dance with the devil? We're just one taste. Your body got numb. Bright light ahead. It feels so good, so close to death. It feels so good, so close to death. No one knows the secrets I keep. All the demons I've been sleeping with. And I know you not that well. And I know you and you know how it feels. Your body got numb. Bright light ahead. It feels so good, so close to death. It feels so good, so close to death.
You guys talking about a dude's choice?
Oh, we had some new songs that we played that I think that's kind of been like a pivotal point for us to be able to write stuff together, because we are such a completely new band. You know, Terry's new, I'm new, and so we weren't sure how that was gonna go. We were able to play the old songs, that's easy, you know, but to be able to write together and for it to come together and have it be something that we all like, we've been getting some good momentum with that. So that feels good. It feels like a good fit. And at first we were writing, like Todd and I would write some stuff together. We would kind of bounce it off each other, bring it into the studio and then listen to it. And now I've been able to do some stuff that they like. And so that feels good, you know.
Sounds good. Feels good.
And yeah, and we have a bunch of stuff, like we have a bunch of songs. So there's no end of material. Dead in the Sun, yeah, that's a new one that we just wrote. And what happens is like John will post it, like say on Facebook or something. Like he'll just be noodling at home and I'll videotape it and just kind of get it in my head. And what's great is like they'll name the songs, and so we just kind of take that title and kind of run with it. And I do a lot of journaling, and so just in that journaling, I'll see certain phrases that I like. You know, like we wrote a song that we didn't play tonight, and it was something I wrote like 2 years ago, you know, but when Todd gave it to me, it would just fit. It was so effortless, you know. It shouldn't, to me, it shouldn't be this like arduous process where it's like, well, how's this sound? Oh no, let me get a different word, or like, it shouldn't be that much work. It should be pretty effortless for me personally. That's how I like it. I mean, of course, there's going to be times that you're going to rework something and try it differently. But when it just comes together and you didn't have to do much, that's, to me, is like where the magic starts.
Really quick, talk about Dead in the Sun. What's that about? Where were you? Where were you going
Well,
with it?
what's funny is like when I write stuff, sometimes the whole story isn't the whole story. It'll be parts of a story, or it'll be something that I want to say to somebody. But it won't always be about the song won't always be about the same thing. But that one essentially is about using heroin. And just seeing people like on the streets, like when you walk, for me, like when I'm in Pedro, like one of the lines is, I recognize your behavior, the swiftness in your step. So that's like, I saw this guy and I knew he was gonna go score because of the way he was walking. He just was like, and I recognize that behavior. I'm not a heroin addict, but I recognize the behavior of like, going to go get something, and that's all you are focused on, and just the swiftness in his steps, you know. So that's just, I write stuff like I'll see people on the street and it'll just kind of hit me, and I'll just journal about it, and that song is kind of about it.
What you say, little sister girl? a one-way ticket. It's a one-way ticket on a strike to the end.
You gotta talk too much.
This part's
Terry?
better. I'm better at playing drums than talking. But I got into music at, I think, 6th grade. Like, really into it. I have an older sister, so she would have music like around the house. I was stealing her tapes, stealing her CDs and playing in my room. She would catch me and take them back. But in 6th grade for English class, this one girl I had a crush on, she gave me a CD. She's like, you like music? And I go, yes. She's like, here, play this. It's yours. Cool. And it was Lad Wagon Feelings.
Oh.
And that album, the first song alone, just like I was like, I want to do this forever. It was perfect. I was a kid, so I had a bunch of energy, a lot of erratic energy, really, and that was a perfect channel, a perfect vessel, a perfect format to just control all this chaotic energy and just focus it on something productive, something harmonious at least. So I was out of trouble. I was a good kid. I had soccer and I had drums. And drums was the only thing I could focus.
Yeah, if you play drums, you can't spend your money on anything else.
Yeah, my short version is a couple albums that stand out to me when I was a kid, like 7th grade, whatever, that my brother turned me on to. That dude sitting over there. Was Van Halen's first album. So yeah, now you know how old I am. So Van Halen's first album, and then an album by Rush, early Rush album, Fly By Night. Those were the two that kind of got me into music and just realized that I just love freaking guitar. Just absolutely loved it. Then in 8th grade, Pink Floyd's The Wall and some weed really kind of took me to another place. So yeah, and then my introduction to punk. So I really kind of was into metal and started playing guitar in high school, and metal was my thing. Like in my high school, something my brother asked me about tonight, my 9th grade, 10th grade high school, we used to go see Slayer play at parties and occasionally at clubs, but we would see Slayer at backyard parties. So yeah, I was definitely into metal. And then the first chance that I got to join a band was not until I was like in my early to mid 20s, and that was a punk band. And I had never really, although I loved metal and loved kind of the thrashier stuff, I had never really delved into punk that much. And so yeah, I joined that band. It was a South Bay band called Prop 13, and I played with that band for I think like 7 or 8 years. And that time, just I became a part of punk, and punk became a part of me. And I think the best thing about it, and I'll finish up on this, was just being in the South Bay and the sense of family in the South Bay and the punk scene was just, it just felt right to me all that time, and still does. And so it was really great to get in this band. And you know, I played shows with John a long time ago when he was in Generator and War Call Peace, other bands, but to finally be in a band with him, it seems like something that's a long time coming.
Me? So the first band I played in was in 2003, and for me, I always loved singing. When I was a kid, my mom wanted me to play piano because she wanted to play piano, and I told her, well, can I have voice lessons? And so she let me have voice lessons, and I remember I got like Whitney Houston. I would sing like that kind of stuff. And but then in 2003, one of my friends wanted to start a band, and I was like, I want to sing. And so we played. It was called Havana Brown. It was 3 girls, and we followed like the Red Ants. We followed Babes in Toyland, L7. We played in Huntington Beach. Was predominantly where we played, and I played bass and sang in that band. I didn't want to play bass. I wasn't a bass player. The guy I was dating handed me a bass, and like 6 months later we played at Que Sera. Yeah, exactly. But I wanted to sing, and then that band, we did a couple albums. We were on Grip Dog Records, and then I did a solo album, and then my husband and I did an album together, and then I was playing bass in a band, but it just wasn't, I still want to, like the only time I have any relief is when I sing. Like that's just the most comfortable I feel. And John had posted that he was looking for like a songwriter or stuff, but I thought it was like this acoustic stuff that he was doing. And I went on there, I looked at some YouTube videos of the old singer, and I was like, oh, I don't think I could do that. You know, I didn't really think that it was something that I could do. And then a couple months later, it was still bugging me. I was like, I want to sing, you know, so I messaged him and I was like, have you found a singer yet? And he's like, no. They gave me 9 songs, and I told him, well, I'll learn a few and I'll come in. And I came in, and it just, for me, like I said, it just feels like the most comfortable I've ever felt. And like, I don't worry about anything else when I'm singing. It's like I'm able to be present. And I think, like, you were asking about just being like a female in the band. I don't see it that way personally, like, but I know that people see it that way, that there's a female. And I think that there's a lot of women now that are coming out that are being a part of the scene now. And I have friends that will send me, like, Gel is a band that I've been following. Because there's just there's just so many more women that are being able to be a part of the scene, I guess. And I think it's great. I don't know that it's so much like, I don't feel like I'm doing it to like make a statement. I feel comfortable doing it, and it serves me, it feeds me. I guess I've always felt a little, like I do have some masculine energy. And so I think that kind of works because you do have to have some tough skin for some of this, because people do, you know, you'll be at a show and some guy will mutter something under his breath or you know, sometimes people they just try to, I think, intimidate you maybe. And for me personally, when that happens, I love it because it's something that I can use, you know, as fuel for, it just makes me, like, the brick you'll throw at me is kind of the brick I'm gonna stand on, you know. So I just love kind of sometimes when I do hear that people are kind of like, it's a girl singer, I'm like, that's cool, you know. And then maybe they can have a different experience, you know. So I don't know if that's.
No, even when we were, one time we were auditioning drummers, we had a drummer that was really interested to jam with us and had come in and played, and Vanessa was out of town or something, couldn't be at that session, and he was like, yeah, you know, music's good, and then he got back to it and he's like, you know, I just don't know if I want to be in a band with a girl. And I was just like, I didn't have anything to say. I was like, that's your problem, dude, because she ain't going anywhere, so.
That's great.
Was it good?
He was alright, yeah. It was alright.
It worked out for me, I'm guessing.
Indeed it did. Yeah. So no, I think that's one of the things that I do like about the band is, and it's like, I know this is from John's songwriting. There have been times where I said, oh, you know, let's write something in this direction. And he's always been like, let's write whatever the fuck we want. It doesn't have to be hardcore. It doesn't have to be super heavy or super fast. It can be melodic. Just write good music. And so I think that's where we're actually now as a band. We're starting with some of our new songs. We're really starting to go that direction where we're not just worried about that it has to be hardcore. It's just like, let's write good, inspiring songs.
Where did it all begin, John?
What? Where did it all begin? It was Kiss, right?
Oh, I left that one out.
I
Yep.
went to Kiss. My mom had a guy that played drums take me to go see Kiss at the Forum, like during this Dynasty tour. Right? So like, and you know, it's in like the 80s. That was early 80s.
Yeah, so it's probably like ninth grade.
No,
8th? Oh yeah, for you, yeah.
Before that, I was like, so that was it, yeah. So it was Kiss, and then, you know, as I got into high school, it was all metal, rock and stuff. Ted Nugent,
I get that.
Megadeth, They didn't make what? Oh, not right now. It's, yeah. Then it was, I saw Megadeth, or I saw Slayer at the Culver City Auditorium for a Metal Militia fucking show where, was it Metal Massacre? Metal Massacre 5.
Yep,
Metal Massacre 5. Saw them there. And that was like, there was only a handful of bands. Now it's like anybody and their brother's in a band. Everybody plays guitar, everybody plays bass. And then it's just like cookie cutter. And it's taken the life out of like what any style is. It doesn't have the style or vigor that it did when I was in high school. Like if you were a meddler or whatever, you know, they kind of treat you different. And now it's like, you know, you go to Nordstrom's and buy your fucking patches and all your fucking shit, and you know, it's just not the same. It's just not the same. Just oversaturated. So it's, you know, I don't think that the kids hold on to music the same way as we did. Because when I was a kid, I'd listen to records all the way through. I knew every song, everything all the way through. Kids are so disposable. Like my kids, they're listening to fucking, they could sing every word to fucking Frozen, then he jumps into Slipknot, and then, you know, some cowboy song. And you're like, who's this child? You know? And I love him for it. I love them for it, because it's, you know, all my kids are singing Katy Perry and all that, and, you know, Taylor Swift and everything, but it's just different. It's a different thing going on right now.
Coming out now.
But you know what, John? You know, I think it kind of speaks to what I was talking about before about your songwriting. Is that you told me anything goes.
Yeah, schizophrenic.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be one thing or another. It's you know, all of those influences and yeah, make something.
Well, and just recently, going back to the songwriting, like he normally gives us songs, like so we hear like the guitar first. Well, recently we had Todd give us a song, so we heard the bass first, you know, and so yeah, so it was good.
Yeah, we're continuing to evolve, and one of the things that I like the best is now I feel like we've got a really solid lineup. Like everyone is really committed, and it feels really good. So that's
So good.
yeah.
So good.
Coming together nicely also helps the fact that we have good chemistry as people, as individuals first, and then as musicians, and that translates very well in the studio.
Yeah, we have fun.
We're critical, we're constructive. Something we don't like, we will change. We're all open to ideas. We're all our worst and best critics, and so we will intention. And we can hang out in the studio or hang out anywhere in the parking lot to have a good time, and it helps a lot.
I think it's different because I've been through a lot of bands, and being in bands, it's like you're married to whoever else is in it, right? It's a bunch of girlfriends, and you know, these guys are pretty fucking cool, you know? My shit.
The thing is like when you're in a band, so what I like to call is like you have this belly to belly time, right? Everybody has their phone down except for him. He usually has his phone, but he has a lot of responsibility. But you have this belly to belly time, right? And people don't get that. And we're with each other twice a week, regardless of what's happening in our lives, right? So we come in and we have calamity happening, but we're still there for band practice. But we know what's going on. Like we know what challenges each other has, right? But we still come together, and so there builds like this bond because you show up to be creative, and you have other things going on in your life, and so because some of the songs are written about some of that stuff, you know, some of the things that people in the band are going through, and you experience it, you watch them. And it becomes like this bond that you can't really explain to other people, you know?
Well said.
There's like a therapy in it.
Oh my gosh, 100%.
Oh, yeah, totally.
We know each other's love languages.
We all know that therapy, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The therapy,
and music, meeting up twice a week to keep us sane.
Literally.
Oh, yeah.
Wheels turning.
It's a different kind of outlet. It's an exorcism in some sorts, you know, because we don't come and play soft and nice. We kind of go and just throw everything in there and just get it all out. And it's the fact that we all bring a different kind of energy. It's not male or female. It's just creative. It's raw. It's frustration from existing. 9 to 5, work week, so on and so on. But in that room, it's all coming out. We're all like shedding our skin.
It's like going to a shooting range. Like it's like a release.
Yeah,
right?
with a
So
grenade
it's
launcher.
like when you get done, you're just like, and I think David Bowie talks about it like musicians feel like if there's something inside of them, if they could just get it out and like maybe they could like understand themselves better or understand you better. It's like there's just this need to like create and to like better understand like what's happening. You know, that's just was the way that it was explained to me, and that makes the most sense.
In the land of the free.
It's great. I mean, looking at it from afar, I didn't really even. I knew you had it, but I didn't really see any of the videos. And I watched from, like 2 days ago, and I was telling you, Ella Smith was like blowing my mind, like how well the video was done. Just that alone, and her voice, and how you made everything come through was just like amazing. And I just didn't know this space was, this well put together, right? So very grateful.
Yeah. I saw a bunch of the YouTube, and I was extremely impressed. And then I pulled up tonight, and I was like, "Where the hell?"
It's hidden.
I was like, "What kind of janky ass shit?" No, I'm just kidding. But then, right when you pulled up, you came in like a bat out of hell, and then all of a sudden, like couches were outside, and the fire was on, and it was like a whole nother like. So it's kind of like a speakeasy in a sense of like you don't know it's here. It's like this gem, right? And then there's all these people that are here that like love this space that are like, they're just helping as a community, and they kind of know how it goes, and it just created this energy. Like you could feel it. There was a positive energy tonight, and this place obviously has something to it.
Yeah, I'm just going to echo the positive energy. And after talking to you for a bit, I found out where that positive energy comes from. So this place is really just a reflection of you guys. And it felt good right away as you guys started putting everything together, and I saw that you guys had a system. And not only that, to echo what John was saying, I had gone on your YouTube page some weeks back, like right after we booked this, and I was like just blown away by the quality of not just the production, the artists as well, the artists and the production. So being invited to come in and be a part of that, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you guys.
Oh, it's on Spotify, Apple.
Any social medias.
Yeah.
Yep.
The interwebs. We're on all the interwebs.
And then I think what's next is we're just writing a bunch of new music, some of which we played tonight, and the goal is to get in the studio in May and get an EP out and play live a lot more. Got some shows booked right now, and you'll find those on our social medias.
We have a website. On the website.
Yep. Thank you, Blue Beat.
Yay!
Yeah, 100%.
That's a wrap. Good, because I have to go.
Oh, jeez.